video notes. Today we are going to look at simplifying algebraic expressions. In order to begin, we have to introduce you to some of the things we're going to be using to help us represent maybe a pictorial representations of our variables. Here we have algebra tiles. The green is x. This represents a positive x. So if we wanted to represent 5x, we would have to represent it by having 5 of these x's. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5 x's. Here we have 5 x's to represent this 5x. This is negative x, this is 1, and this is negative 1. So to represent minus 3 or negative 3, we have to add 3 negative 1s. I'm going to keep all my x's to one side and I'm going to put all my 1s on the other. Since they are different shapes, we can't combine them. Next we'll have to add 2 x's. Since it's positive, we're going to add 2 x's. Plus 5, so we're going to add 5 1s. 1. Let's get on over. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Move them on over here. Okay, now we have to add negative 3 x's, or 3 negative x's. So we're going to have a negative x, another negative x, and another negative x. Okay, so here's what we represent. We have the 5 x's, the negative 3 1s, or 3 negative 1s, the 2 x's, the 5 positive 1s, and the 3 negative x's. Now is the time to kind of make this a little bit simpler, since there's a lot of it jumbled. But what we can represent is we can add things that are alike, but we can't add things that are different. So we've separated these back into the rectangles and the squares. So what we can see is we have 1, 2, all of these rectangles we like to put in a nice neat little order. But what we see is if we're dealing with these negative x's, if we have a negative 1x and a positive 1x, these are what we call a zero pair, and they cancel each other out. See if we have any other zero pairs. Here we have a negative x and another positive x. These are our zero pairs. We have another x and a negative x for more zero pairs. We have a negative 1 and a positive 1 because they're a zero pair. Then we have a negative 1 and a positive 1 for another zero pair. Negative 1 and a positive 1 for a negative 0 pair. So what we have left here are the ones that are not zeroed out. So now we can add them to find out what we've got total and simplified. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 x's. and then 2 ones. And they're positive, so we'll say plus 2. So we have 5x minus 3 plus 2x plus 5 minus 3x all adds up and simplifies down to just 4x plus 2. We use these representations because it's a little simpler than to have to write this whole thing out. And every time we see x, if we're going to evaluate this, we'd have to plug in the value for x every single time. And here, we only have to evaluate it once. For your homework tonight, I want to see if you can evaluate this. For those still with me, the answer is 2x plus 7.